Groan. I feel as though here to taunt me, my nemesis, the damn Bolt e-scooter, pain in the ass on the pavement thing. Even here in Khmelnytsky, somebody's parked it for a joke outside Hotel Centralna where I'm staying. Ah well, the walkie-talkie traveller channel. Just have to put a smile on my face, grin and bear it. Luckily, haven't seen anyone actually riding these things. These contraptions. I wanted to say the word contraption. So you know what? I did. I wanted to just stress I haven't seen people riding those things in Khmelnytsky, although I've only been here a couple of days. There's still time to get my ankle nibbled at, and lo and behold, me and my big mouth. Looks like it's another one of those days when somebody is listening to what I'm saying and then putting their spoke in the works. Yes. Anyway, couldn't make it up, you see. It's not planned. I haven't got the budget. I haven't got any budget. Certainly not to pay somebody who I'm going to plan with in advance. Okay, so let's time you arriving with the e-scooter then, and it will all work out well and it will seem so spontaneous. No, it was spontaneous. And there you go. The reassuring figure of Bohdan Khmelnytsky. Nice monument. Nice to come out every morning and see this. It's super, isn't it? I never get tired of seeing it, and probably I film it too much. I'll have to sort that out in the editing. Going past the Philharmonia building, the main place for concerts. Pop concerts mainly, I think, but also classical, of course. And today, call me crazy, but I'm heading up to another one of these places called Love Island. Yes, there's another one. We found one in Ivano-Frankivsk, if you remember. And there's another one here. There's also a zoo park. So I'm going to take a right up Kamyanet Street and look out on my left for a suitable turning. Let's see when the lights are in our favour. I'm not as bald as that gentleman. Where this road actually leads to, and if there's any other interesting surprises along the way. In fact, I've just seen one and I think you're going to like it a lot. And look at that. Isn't that handsome? Just as I was walking down the beginning of Kamyanet, on the right hand side, a couple of money exchange places, Obmin Valuts, Cantors, Lombards, currency exchange places by any other name. And although today's Sunday and they seem to be both closed, good to know that close to the hotel there's that opportunity to change some dollars, which I'll do tomorrow when hopefully one or both of them will be open, and I'll be able to do a little comparison with the exchange rates, maybe save a bit of money or make a little bit of money depending on how you look at it. Probably the exchange rates will be very similar and I'll get around $36-37, sorry, hryvnia I should say, for my dollar. And I notice the wind's getting up, which means we might be getting close to the lake, although it's a little bit of a walk, I think. And we're starting to go downhill. Well, I've just come off the main road. I just had a feeling there might be some artwork. And by complete luck, look at this pretty thing up here on the balcony. Isn't that nice? very prettily painted balcony. I'm as chuffed as nuts. Oh, hang on. Mind your step. It's a long way down. Don't want to speak too soon, but it could be that it could just turn into one of my lucky days. By complete chance, I've come across the Museum of History and Culture of the Jewish community. It shows more than 500-year-old history of one of Padilla national minorities. You're welcome. Looks like it's only open Monday to Friday, 9 in the morning till 6 in the evening, which is pretty good, isn't it? And yeah, I've missed the opportunity to go in there. Not sure whether I would or not have gone in, but it exists. Closed today though. It's just as I was walking down Kamyanets and over on the left-hand side. So again, 10 minutes walk from Hotel Centralny. Pretty much straight back across the road from the Jewish Community Centre and History Museum, there's this little monument. 1915 to 2015. Žetvam genostidi Vermin Spilka Vermin Ukraini. I don't know. Looking at the writing, you tell me what language that is. Ukrainian underneath, obviously, but above, is it? Because there's a cross, I wanted to say Georgian, maybe, and I thought that perhaps there was a Georgian cemetery or Georgian community centre just to my left, but it seems as though it's a place for young people. And so, why am I talking to you through a broken lens? Well, as you can perhaps see, I've had a small operation. Very small, as in stitches. What happened was, I was just walking along normally. I wasn't filming. I wasn't not concentrating on where I was putting my feet. And suddenly, bang, down I went on my face. Well, actually, somehow on my chin. Not sure how that worked, but it was a situation rather like what you see down here on the ground. I don't know with the broken lens of the camera you can see this, but there's some new tarmac being laid, and where the new tarmac has been laid, it's at a slightly different height. Well, where I was walking on Kamyanet Street, the difference in height was about double, maybe triple of what you see there. So it was enough anyway for me to basically get my toe stuck on it, trip, and it was strange. It was a feeling as though suddenly my legs were paralyzed and I was falling and there was nothing I could do about it. I know that sounds odd, because if you stub your toe, you normally stumble, and you've got your other leg that you can use, right? That makes sense. In this instance, somehow that didn't work. And I can remember what was going through my brain, and it's so stupid, isn't it? What was going through my brain was the camera. Not protect your face, not make sure you don't get injured yourself, but try and protect the camera. And as it was, I did a pretty lousy job of that. Just by luck, my jaw was closed. My jaw didn't open as I fell. So, although there was a bit of jarring, it feels absolutely normal right now. No damage to the teeth or jaw. I've had an X-ray. I've had a painful solution put onto a rather deep cut. And yeah, I guess they've done some stapling and stitching. And that was a little sharp, I've got to admit. But I was a brave soldier. I can hardly even say that. I can't make a joke out of that, given what the really brave soldiers are doing here in Ukraine. I lay there like a stupid old tourist, which is what I am, and got the stitches done, and they didn't want to charge me for any of it, not even the X-ray, nothing at all. But, you know, I left them a little present, shall we say. Tomorrow, I've got to go to a different polyclinic to get the dressing changed, and they will assess how it's going, the stitches all in there still okay, put on a new dressing. But in 10 days' time, I'm not sure exactly where I'll be. I was thinking I might be in Kiev. Anyway, in 10 days' time, I've got to have the stitches taken out again. Damn. I've just paid about $10 US for some antibiotics. Presumably that means I won't get an infection in the wound. Might not be taking a shower, certainly not shaving for a while. And with the damaged camera situation, I guess I'll have to look at the possibility of falling back on the camera, maybe getting a selfie stick, or just trying to hold the camera in my paw and filming it. Won't be as small and convenient as this little camera. And goodness knows I've been knocking this camera quite a lot verbally, haven't I, for all the problems. And even yesterday, a significant large snippet which I filmed, I ended up discovering that the whole thing, the audio is out of sync with the visual. So I was thinking, okay, I'll have to separate the two somehow in OpenShot Video Editor. And then, oh, hi, again. And then there are the folks who helped me. Zhenya, I forgot to mention, Zhenya, Tanya, and their son Dominic. Luckily, there I was lying on the ground, watching blood dripping onto the ground, and immediately Zhenya, the husband, rushed to my aid and took care of me, walked me the 30 minutes to the hospital. The first place we went to wasn't open. It's a Sunday. Maybe that does make a difference. They stayed while I waited in line to be seen, and then they stayed outside while I was in there having the small the stitches done and the X-ray. Bless them. And we said our goodbyes outside of the clinic, and my head was going round and round thinking, what should I do? I mean, I'd like to take them for tea or thank them somehow when I'm feeling a bit more as though my equilibrium has been re-established. But I just couldn't think straight, basically. That was the truth of it. And they were going another way because they'd needed to go to a market when they came across me and immediately gave me assistance. So I just said goodbye to them outside the apteca, the pharmacy where I've got my antibiotics. I thought they were going another way. It turns out they're coming back this way. Might see them again in the supermarket. Hopefully see them again maybe tomorrow, and if all is well, maybe then I can say, hey, let's go in this cafe and I'll buy cake, ice cream, some nice drinks to say thank you. I really hope that's what's going to happen. I do have a mild headache, I have to admit, as I guess anybody would who fell face first on the ground, but yeah, no damage to the teeth, no damage to the nose or eyes. I must have a certain way of falling, because this is the second time I've fallen kind of flat on my face and not received a really bad injury. So exceptionally lucky, and yeah, I don't know what to put that down to. I must fall funny. That's all I can say. Sort of like an ironing board tilting back, so I take the blow on the chin. Although last time I took it on the forehead. So yeah, that was Vietnam, probably dehydration, I think. Anyway, I'm rambling as usual. I'm rambling worse than ever, perhaps. But I've got an excuse today. What are we going to do now? I think I'll go to a supermarket, get some food, maybe get some water. Maybe I can't be bothered to carry the water, and go back to the ranch. Feel sorry for myself a bit longer. And I guess I've got to tell my friends who I've just said goodbye to, update them on what's happened. Or should I keep it a secret and tell them at a much later date? Because the last thing I want is either of them or both of them rushing to Khmelnytsky to give me assistance. They've got their own lives to get on with, plenty of work. So yeah, I'll probably be thinking more clearly later. Yeah, don't immediately announce to the world on Facebook or anything like that I've had a slight injury damaging my chin. Хорошо. I think I'm going to find that, I think maybe that ATB supermarket, which is the closest big supermarket to the hotel where I'm staying. I mean, we'll see. I'll go into the first one I see. Yeah, I'll get back to you if that's all right when my head's cleared. Anyway, again, not the first time I've benefited from the healthcare system in Ukraine over the years. Again, I'm in their debt and obliged. God bless Ukraine. And on the way back to the hotel with my tail between my legs and with the, well, buggered Akaso V50 camera lens, perhaps this is the perfect timing to film not so fantastic street art. It's not so fantastic, and it might look not as limited as it would otherwise through the damaged lens. Who's to say? But not one of the high points of visiting Khmelnytsky. That said, I was hoping that maybe it would be of better quality. I mean, some of the ideas might be interesting, but the actual end result A little bit disappointing, got to admit. So we have a small shame. Bit sad about that. But there may be some of the footage which can be rescued. What do you think? Or is it all just, it's gone too far, particularly with the combination of the limited artwork and the impeded camera? It kind of renders my almost non-existent skill at handling the camera irrelevant, doesn't it? I'm trying to find some angle where maybe what I can do is take freeze frame images from the video, piece it together and make another little video, a collage of pictures. Maybe, or maybe not. Mind your step, as I'm always saying. A mental note to myself, which serves me well until I fall flat on my face. Probably been thinking, why does he say mind your step from time to time? Well, falling flat on my face isn't a hobby. It's not something I do every day. But it's been known to happen. It's just happened all over again. Now, I've got to look at this situation pragmatically and think it could have been a hell of a lot worse. And yeah, I just have to take the damage to the camera on the chin and the inconvenience of having to find somewhere to have the stitches removed. Yeah, as a least worst outcome. Could have been far, far more serious, obviously. And while I was in the clinic, I was thinking, God, now I wish they had that enforced $1 health insurance policy for entering the Ukraine. For entering Ukraine, I should say, not the Ukraine. For entering Ukraine. That's something which they appear to have revoked. But during the COVID time, you had to take that insurance out. It was going through my head, you know, because it did occur to me that if I've got nurses doing things, running around after me, and I've got doctors stitching me up, x-ray being done, then I've got to pay a few $100s for this, haven't I? Haven't I? It may even be a few thousand in some places. But as it turned out, that was the least of my worries. They weren't looking to financially take any advantage of me whatsoever. Dare I say it, another war memorial. Don't know specifically if this ties in with something, a period of history, whether it's Afghanistan, for example, as opposed to the Great Patriotic War. There's no further information. A red star from the Soviet era has been removed from there, so I guess they're trying to distance themselves again from that period of what they would call subjugation, I imagine. And yet, Ukrainian people did die in whichever conflict this is memorializing. Couldn't help noticing nearby this artwork. How on earth can I get a decent picture, or even a half decent picture of it? Here we are from the school of from the school of I can't pronounce it. From the school of iconography. Don't know what this is about, but thought I'd film it. Here I am trying to convince myself, oh, the damage to the lens isn't that bad, when I can see it is really bad. And in sunlight, it just appears even worse. But in the shadows, it's noticeably less bad, but still, it's bad and irreparable. Whether I can somehow take this device into a shop somewhere, like a camera shop, and say, oh, can you just take the half broken back off this little thing and pop in another lens, whether they could do that, I don't know. Is it worth trying? I don't know. I'll have to give it a think about, I guess. How's it looking? Am I looking rugged and manly all of a sudden? Or do I look like I've survived 3 seconds in a boxing ring with Vasily Lomachenko before he knocked me out with the first punch? Possibly the latter. I think it's now time for our malingering, self-centered, oh poor me, walkie-talkie traveller channel host to look towards ATB, which I'm going to pop into as the closest, just about the closest supermarket to Hotel Centralna, but there's really not much in it. It really, I guess, depends on which angle of approach you take. And I'll see if they've got some of the cornflakes I was hoping to find yesterday, which they'd run out of in Silpo. So I'll be having cornflakes with milk for my tea time snack, I think, for the next day or two. Or 3, depending on how long I end up staying here.